There were so many incredible plays and catches during the 22-23 season, and here is what made the cut for our best list of catches of the 22-23 season. Let us know which ones you remember and which ones we left out. Justin Jefferson, 3rd and 18 versus the Bills. The Vikings were riding a hot streak of 6 wins in a row as they came into Buffalo to play the game of the week.
Singletary's back in with a seam off the left side, drags Kendrick.
The 7-1 Vikings and the 6-2 Bills were near the top of their respective conferences, which put a lot of importance on this matchup. The climax came on 3rd and 18 in the fourth quarter with a little under 2 minutes to go. The Vikings were down by 4 and needed to move the chains to keep moving down the field. Kirk Cousins took the snap in an empty backfield as his receivers streaked down the field, and he took a few steps back before finding his spot in the pocket. He planted his left foot and threw a high pass down the right sideline towards Justin Jefferson. The pass was a little high and appeared to be headed right toward the hands of Bills cornerback Cam Lewis before Jefferson jumped right up with him.
Gotta look back at this.
In the mere seconds that the ball hung in the air, football fans held their collective breath until the screams of the announcer brought everyone back to their senses. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson pulled it in! The catch of his life! Jefferson used the defender to pin the ball to his own hand as he came down with one of the most spectacular game-saving catches you will ever see. George Pickens one-hander versus the Browns. George Pickens sure didn't waste any time making a name for himself during his rookie season. He sparked waves on social media with his acrobatic one-handed catch along the sideline during the Steelers' Thursday night game against the Browns. With the safety attached to his left shoulder and the sideline on his right, Pickens was able to contort his body and make the catch with his right hand while he was almost parallel to the turf.
Move down the sideline and reaching up for it.
The rookie receiver from Georgia didn't stop there and made plenty of other newsworthy catches during the 22-23 campaign. CeeDee Lamb versus the Vikings. It seemed like the Vikings couldn't catch a break. The Cowboys had a 20-3 lead with about 9 seconds left in the first half. All things seemed to be working in Dallas's favor. This sure seemed to continue on a sideline dart to CeeDee Lamb from Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. Prescott rolled out to the right and, due to the limited time on the clock, threw a pass on the run to Lamb, who was hovering around the 42-yard line near the sidelines. The ball was perfect, splitting between 2 Viking defenders, and CeeDee Lamb hit the perfect extension, grabbing the ball while keeping 2 feet in bounds.
With one hand, a spectacular catch by the rookie out of Oklahoma.
The catch set the Cowboys up in perfect field goal range before heading into halftime. Davante Adams versus the Rams. The caliber of catches are going to rise depending on the level of talent, and on December 8, 2022, football fans were treated to a matchup that included some of the very best. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Rams fought a tough game against each other that included receivers Davante Adams and Rams cornerback Jalen Ramsey, both very respected in their positions. On a 3rd and 5, Adams took Ramsey on a deep route along the right sideline. Raiders quarterback Derek Carr threw the ball up to his favorite target as Adams took a step ahead of Ramsey. With Jalen on his right hip, Davante found his left arm being pulled back and was forced to make a play on the ball with his right hand.
Get a step on him. That's the way to start the game.
Fighting through the defensive pass interference, Davante was able to pin the ball to his chest, roll over, and make the catch. Jalen would get the last laugh as the Rams went on to win the game 17-16. Darnell Mooney versus the Vikings. Sometimes all it takes is a couple fingers to catch the ball. At least that was the mood of Darnell Mooney during his Week 5 game against the Vikings. Man, the Vikings secondary is really getting dragged through the mud here. Justin Fields showed flashes of potential as a young quarterback, and building chemistry with your receivers is the best way to do that. The chemistry seemed to be pretty strong, or at the very least, Fields trusted Mooney's athletic ability as we see in the game against the Vikings. Despite Mooney being tightly covered, Fields threw up the ball, and much to the chagrin of the Vikings defender, Mooney did a complete 180 to snag the ball with one hand on top of the defender. One hand might even be an exaggeration, as Mooney appeared to hold on to the ball with the very tips of his fingers. Incredible concentration, body movement, and hand strength. Amon-Ra St. Brown versus the Packers. It's hard to find something cleaner than the all-white uniform combos. Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Detroit Lions took it all up to the next level. Playing the Packers near the end of the season in Week 17, St. Brown was saving his best for last. On a chilly day at legendary Lambeau Field, Lions quarterback Jared Goff threw the ball towards St. Brown and hit him right in the hands. However, it slipped right through his hands. But instead of dropping the ball to the turf, St. Brown was able to pin the ball between his legs as the Packers quarterback came bearing down on him. As the two rolled over on the turf, St. Brown was able to reach through his own legs, securing the ball to move the chains on an incredible catch. Deontay Johnson versus the Bengals. It didn't take long into the 2022 NFL season to give fans a reason to be excited. In an overtime matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 1, Deontay Johnson found himself in a one-on-one matchup down the sideline. Steelers quarterback Mitchell Trubisky threw up a jump ball. Initially turning his right shoulder back towards the ball, Johnson contorted his body and snapped the ball over the defender with his left hand. He needed every inch of extension as he pushed his body to the limit to make the catch and hold on after getting hit out of bounds. Davante Adams versus the 49ers. When I say Davante Adams is in a class by himself, it's because of plays like this. You could make a full video on just highlights courtesy of this spectacular athlete, and you could even choose different plays from this very same game. This specific one comes from Week 16 against the San Francisco 49ers during the fourth quarter. While tracking the ball in the air and running down the sideline, Davante Adams used his momentum to get on the inside hip of the cornerback. Right as Lenore, the 49ers cornerback, extended his hands to pick off the pass, he threw his body into a full extension. Davante seemed to hit the ball out of the way from the defense and pinned the ball between his hands as he hit the ground. This level of concentration rewarded Davante with a top highlight of the season. DK Metcalf versus the 49ers. You know the term getting mossed, named after all-time great Randy Moss. As a cornerback, you don't want to be anywhere near getting mossed. DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks has mastered this trait and wanted to show it off during Week 2 against the San Francisco 49ers. On a second down, Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith pitched the ball to running back Kenneth Walker, who then turned around and threw the ball back to Geno behind the line of scrimmage to try to catch the 49ers off guard. The trick play didn't necessarily fool the 49ers cornerback, as he was right on DK Metcalf like moss on trees. Both players tried to get in position to catch the ball as it soared through the air, and while DK seemed to be stuck behind the defender, that didn't stop him from jumping and plucking the ball out of the air with only his right arm. Which catch made you rewind the TV so you could watch it again? Join the conversation and let us know in the comments below. Thanks!